Good morning, students. We have completed the revision of fundamental unit of life. Let us start the revision of chapter tissues. Like how I taught once again the fundamental unit of life, all of the details. I am not going to discuss the same way in this chapter. Instead, I am going to explain the in-text questions, exercises, and some other important questions step by step. In today's class, I am going to explain the answers for in-text questions. First question: what is a tissue? What is a tissue? A group of cells that are of same origin, similar in structure and function. A group of cells that are of the same origin, similar in structure and function, is called tissue. Okay. What is the utility of tissues in multicellular organisms? Tissues, they provide the protection, mechanical strength, specific functional abilities of different functions in multicellular organisms. Name the different types of simple permanent tissues. There are three simple permanent tissues. What is simple permanent tissue? The permanent tissue, which is made up of only one type of cells, is known as simple permanent tissue. Such simple permanent tissues are of three types. They are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Right? Sclerenchyma, it is completely made up of dead cells. Parenchyma and collenchyma, they are made up of live cells. The amount of protoplasm is present in very high quantity in parenchyma cells, moderate quantity in collenchyma cells, almost nil in sclerenchyma cells. Next, where is apical meristem found? Where is apical meristem found? Apex means peak or top or tip. So, from this apex word, this apical word is derived. Apical means present at the tip. Apical, at the tip. Okay. So, apical meristem is found at the growing tips of stem and root. Apical meristem is found at the growing tips of stem and root. Okay. Next question. Which tissue makes up the husk of coconut? The husk of coconut is very strong, rock-like thing. So, in order to provide that much strength, if living cells made parenchyma or collenchyma are present in that husk, then it cannot be such strong. So, which tissue is present in the husk of coconut? Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is present in the husk of coconut. The husk of coconut contains sclerenchyma in it. What are the constituents of phloem? Xylem and phloem are vascular tissues, and each tissue is made up of 4 components. The same way, so phloem, it is made up of 4 components. They are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So phloem is made up of 4 components. They are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Next question. Name the tissue that is responsible for movement in our body. Name the tissue that is responsible for movement in our body. It is muscular tissue. It is muscular tissue. What does a neuron look like? Neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue, and each neuron has 3 parts: the cell body or cyton, axoneme, and the nerve endings. With all these 3 structures, how does a neuron look like? Each part of this neuron, it resembles one particular structure, and in total the neuron will look like an uprooted tree. It look like an uprooted tree. In uprooted tree, the roots, the nerve endings are like the roots. So in a neuron, nerve endings will be like roots. And stem, it is the appearing structure like a axoneme. So axoneme appears like stem. And cell body, this one, it appears like a tree crown. So a neuron look like an uprooted tree which has roots like nerve endings, stem like axoneme, and tree crown like cell body. Give 3 features of cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are the muscles which are present in the walls of the 4 chambers of heart. Each cardiac muscle is made up of branched cylindrical cells which are having single nucleus. Each cell is having only single nucleus. All of the voluntary muscles, they have the cells that are having single nucleus. Whereas, all of the involuntary muscles have means that function without our thinking. Such muscles are known as involuntary muscles. So under involuntary muscles, both cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles or visceral muscles are included. In these muscles, that is under involuntary muscles, the muscle cells are uninucleate. Whereas in voluntary muscles, that is in skeletal muscles, the cells are multinucleate. But cardiac muscles, even though they are involuntary in nature, they are having stripes or striations like skeletal muscles and function like smooth muscles. and they have got one unique property, that is they are having branched cells. In both skeletal muscles and in smooth muscles, the cells are not branched, they are unbranched, whereas only in cardiac muscle the cells are branched, right? Cells are branched, cylindrical and uninucleate. They have intercalated discs in between the cells. Some disc-like structures that make them to be attached with each other are present, and these cardiac muscles, from the time of the birth until the time of the death, continuously they function. Generally, they don't feel fatigue under normal conditions. And as I already told, these muscles are involuntary in action. Next question. What are the functions of areolar tissue? It is a type of connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue is present between the organs. It acts as supportive and packaging tissue or packing tissue. Areolar connective tissue fills the empty spaces between the organs which are lying or present in the body cavity. And areolar connective tissue helps in the repair of tissues. So what are the functions of areolar connective tissue? It is supportive and packing tissue, fills the empty spaces between the organs which are lying in the body cavity, and it helps in the repair of tissues. With this, all the in-text questions are completed. In the coming class, let us discuss about the exercises followed by some important questions of this chapter, and let us wind up the revision of this chapter. Okay, thank you.